That's nice.
It's like my little team of ammo. Like little guys rooting me on.
Yeah. So many. If you miss, you got backup.
I don't miss.
That's what's up. Alright.
I guess we're talking about the Glock again.
Again?
I'm just kidding. We kind of talked about it.
Not really.
I mean, I don't remember.
These are empty, by the way.
Yeah, these are empty, sorry. Yeah, I'll take this apart real quick, just so everybody knows. So this is a Glock 5 billion.
19.
As you can tell, I'm still learning how to work guns, use guns, learn about guns, all that fun stuff. So hopefully, if we spend time doing this, I'll be able to name all of the parts and stuff someday. Yeah, so I just took it apart again. I know from the first video, you guys saw me take it apart, show you kind of how to do that, and still very easy. I actually enjoy taking it apart. It's kind of like a game. It's like a puzzle for those of you people who don't like actual puzzles but enjoy guns. And this
That's easy enough.
empty. That's the right way. Okay, so what about the Glock? Glock 19. Oh, look, it says 19 on it.
Sure does.
So that way I don't forget again. Yeah, so first thoughts on this gun. I'd have to say it's a little heavy. It is a little heavy. I really like just the black color. I know that sounds really stupid, but I mean, there are lots of other guns out there, you know, that are gray or brown and other colors besides black, but I always thought that a black gun would look pretty smooth. It's not like tacky looking or anything. I once got robbed actually, and that gun was pink. I just remember my initial thoughts like, holy crap, this gun is actually pretty, and then I started worrying about dying. But anyways, yeah, I wouldn't want a pink gun honestly, or camo or anything tacky like that. Not saying that it's tacky. It is tacky, but personal preference, whatever. So this gun is a little heavy. Again, it is super easy to take apart. I'm sure I don't have much experience with other guns, but this one just, like, not having owned a gun or held a gun really much before, for having this one for about like a month now or whatever. Month, 2 months?
Yeah, 2 months.
Or so. I mean, I've already figured out how to take it apart, put it together, load it, shoot it, all that good stuff, clean it, everything. But yeah, again, taking it apart, super easy. There's literally just a button you have to push, which I think with most guns it's pretty standard to unload. Boop. This guy holds 15 bullets. I see the number, it holds 15, it says it on here, which I usually keep loaded, but I don't know if you guys remember from the beginning of the video, I was unloading all my little friends over here. Okay, so again, taking it apart, super, super easy. I don't have any complaints about it whatsoever, as opposed to my other gun, which we talked about briefly before. Eli taught me not to pinch my fingers opening this, and I can do it with one hand. So just like a firm grip with the thumb back here, keeping my hand away from the top, this guy. And before I do that, actually, I didn't realize this, that you can kind of tell if the gun is loaded or not prior to popping out the cartridge, but there's like a little slot in here, which I just get super paranoid about the gun because it's a gun and I never know. Like, again, it's new to me. Like, I get paranoid that it's still loaded or something, so I double check, triple check like a billion times, make sure that it's not when I start messing around with it. But yeah, so I look through the slot, make sure that there's no bullets showing up or anything. And whee! And then again, just pulling down on these little buttons on the side. There's 2 of them, so that's what you use your other hand for. You can release it, and then pull the trigger, and that's it. Taking it apart again. Again, like a puzzle, but a fun puzzle. A very dangerous puzzle. So, this is just the bottom piece. What is this called?
That's the frame.
That's the frame. Yeah, and this one, again, the difference from the car, which we talked about previously, has a lot more metal inside. So very trustworthy, in my opinion. I mean, if you go solely based on like safety, this gun doesn't actually have a safety, right? It's got just the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a little pull, kind of like what would you call that on the trigger?
It's actually just a trigger safety.
Trigger safety. Okay, cool. So, but safety wise, like outside of not having an actual safety, like this gun is super sturdy. Again, it's got a lot of metal on the inside. Not gonna have to worry about plastic really wearing down or anything. And if you keep it clean after every time you shoot, you know, cleaning it out, it should last a really, really long time. Yeah, again, taking it apart, I know I showed you guys the spring before, and I like the spring because it doesn't stick out. It like you don't have to work to get it back in, luckily. And that was a problem we had with the car too, with the spring kind of like popping out through the front, and you don't have to worry about that at all. And I don't know if people realistically do. Maybe that was just a silly mistake we made somehow, but yeah, with the Glock, it's such a reliable, nice gun to put together back and forth, whatever. This is the barrel. Oh, this is the barrel, which, as you can see, just pops right out. Maybe, yeah, super easy. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry, that was just me messing around. But yeah, a very easy gun to clean too. It's not super complicated or anything. Comes apart super easy. I keep using the word easy. I'm sorry. Simple. Whatever.
It's minimal. I
Yeah.
think that's like a big part of it, and that's what makes it easy for beginners. And I mean, like my first gun was the M&P 9 Compact, and it's pretty similar with the setup. There's the barrel, there's the spring, and the slide and the frame, and you take it all apart. There's a couple of parts, you clean all the parts, put them back together. When you start dealing with some of the other guns, like the Car CM9 that we have, the spring just kind of, I mean, it doesn't stay coiled, so
It explodes.
yeah, it can be a little bit of a hassle.
And then you get worried that it's going to smack you in the eye if you can't get it in quickly.
Yeah, so these are a lot easier.
4 pieces.
Yeah, I like the Gen 4. I held both the Gen 4 and the Gen 5 19, and the features about the Gen 4 that I really liked, I kind of liked that the Gen 5 had no finger grooves, but for some reason the Glock ones fit me really well, so I like these as well. I like that the 4 is compatible with the other generations, 3, 2, 1. So being able to use all of those parts together is nice. I'm sure that the Gen 5 Glock will become compatible only with the future ones and vice versa, but something about the classic look, I like the finish on the slide. I think it looks really cool. And I got a Gen 4 26, so and this is a gun that I used to dream about, and I just couldn't afford it even when I got my M&P. It was a money thing, so yeah, something about the Glock's reliability, ease of use. You gotta hold that down.
Pull what down? Oh, sorry.
Something about their ease of use and user friendliness. It's good for beginners.
You gotta pull that down.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if your slide's locked back, you have to release the slide lock. It's better to, it's actually,
yeah,
a slide lock instead of a slide release. Our Car CM9 is, you're supposed to use that as a slide release when you're breaking it in, which is really strange, but yeah, that's really meant to be a slide lock, something that you pull the slide back, pull this down and it'll let the slide go forward.
Right, sorry, it's been like 2 weeks since we went shooting. I forgot, sorry. But anyways, yeah, the little button on here, you gotta make sure you really push it back here. You just push it down, pull it back, and good to go. Any other thoughts? It says Austria on my gun. That's where it was made, I am led to believe. Thank you, Glock.
That's good. Yep, they are an Austrian-based company. I guess the last thing that I'll say about Glock in general, I guess we'll keep it on the 19. The 19, I'll say, I'll just do my bit as versus the 26, but I'll just keep that quick. Versus the 26, you can really get a hand on it. You can really grip this thing, and I feel like it shoots a lot better because of that. So until you get used to shooting with 3 fingers instead of gripping with a pinky, this is really good to learn with. It seems like the shots stay consistent in place, and you're dealing with field goalpost sights, which are extremely nice and easy to find your target. So.
Oh yeah, and we'll be shooting with these hopefully, like I said, tomorrow, and then we can kind of give you guys an update on, you know, holding the gun and what Eli was just explaining as far as like shooting and feeling comfortable and having lots of room to grip it. But that's more to come.
Yeah, it helps balance it out. I mean, you have more surface area back here when you're shooting. It's gonna reduce the amount of muzzle flip, whereas there's less to grip down here. Your leverage point starts to swing. So anyway, we can save that for another time. But I wanted Kirsten to talk about her Glock 19 because it was the first gun and the easy favorite. And you can find, I mean, there are so many Glocks available everywhere. I got this at a pawn shop nearby, and since they had the 5 there, the Gen 4 was much cheaper. So, highly suggest checking out a Glock if you have the funds, if you can buy one used. I got this one on Arms List, so bought it from somebody locally at an FFL we just met there and traded it there. So you can find a lot of Glocks, and you can find good deals on a lot of Glocks. But we like ours.
Glock 5 million from Austria.
Yep, we love our Glock 5 millions. Pot pie time.
Pot pie.
Pot pie time.